Hey, I'm David Kilgore, and I brought my buddy Billy Berger down. He's more of a traditional hunter. I know y'all seen me shoot a lot of stuff with guns and bows and stuff, but Billy here hunts with traditional equipment, and he's going to show us a little bit of how to make it, and we're going to do a little hunting with it.
Yeah. Hoping to get lucky on some pigs. Pine trees leaking the sap out of here. This stuff actually makes a really good hot melt type of glue. What you do with this stuff is just collect it. It's real gummy like this. Wherever these trees have had their bark scarred, you use this stuff to make a hot melt glue. What we'll do is we'll get a bunch of this, collect it, and we'll take it and heat it up in a, I usually use a little tuna can, and take this, heat it up, and then mix in powdered charcoal from burnt sticks. And it doesn't take a lot. The charcoal acts like a temper just to give it a little more strength. And this stuff is real good for mounting arrowheads into the ends of arrows, also for mounting knife blades into a knife handle, and it's surprisingly strong. Here's the pine sap that we got earlier, and I'm gonna melt it in this little can. We got a stove going here. You can do this, of course, over a fire. And if you don't even have a can like this, I've done it on a flat rock. You can heat that rock up over a fire and make your glue that way. Now, this is basically a hot melt glue. And we'll put some of this in there. And just put it over this flame. We got this stuff starting to melt pretty good now. We got one glob here that's getting there. But you can see how sticky and gooey it is. It's almost like epoxy when it's in its curing stages. But if you do this, you want to make sure that you don't get it too hot, because this stuff is highly flammable. The next step is we take some of this charcoal. It's just from a burnt stick or a burnt board, and crush it up real fine and add it to this. And this acts as a temper and gives this stuff a little bit of more strength. And it doesn't take much. You don't want to put too much in there, just so that when this stuff is dried, or when it's cooled, it's like stiff chewing gum. And that'll make sure it's still got a little bit of give. Because if you don't, it'll get too brittle. So I'll add some of this charcoal in here. Try to crush it up as fine as I can. It smells like pine salt. I mean, smells really good. We've got our point here with the glue on it, and we've warmed it up. And I'm going to fit it into this shaft like this. You can see how that fits in there. Now I want to smash that stuff down there. Make a nice smooth transition. True that up, and that thing now, you see it doesn't have a wobble on it or anything. What? Where? Oh man, you alright? Well, this isn't dental floss. This is the some of the sinew, and I've chewed it a little bit. You take this stuff and you chew it and get it really soft so that it's fully hydrated. And then when you wrap that onto the arrow, it will shrink its maximum amount and make the tightest and strongest bond possible. Now I chew this a little bit more, and your saliva just really does a good job. Here's our arrow. What I'm going to do is wrap the sinew onto this arrow, and it'll be white when I first wrap it, but when it dries it'll become almost clear. When I start, I wrap right under the base of this point, because that's your most critical spot right there. pull it and wrap a few times underneath the base of that. So then I go up through these notches like this. And these notches and these points have got to be dulled because they're really sharp, and if you don't dull them and you go to wrap them with sinew, that pine sap glue is nice and secure there and dried and hardened, cooled off. And then I'll wrap down, reinforce the base and underneath that shaft. And then the last thing I do is make a loop and tuck the sinew up underneath itself and pull it tight like that. And usually I use for some reason a shirt seems to grip this stuff really well, so I use my t-shirt like this because it'll slip on your fingers, and grip it like that, really pull it tight. And I take this tail and get a stone flake here, and I just cut this off, smooth it down with my fingers. And it's gotten black, like I said, because I had charcoal on my fingers, and now it's in the sinew. But it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. And there we go. Now we'll set this aside and we'll let it dry, and this arrow's hunting ready. Okay, this is my hunting bow. It's made out of Osage orange wood. You can use a lot of different woods for bows. You can use hickory, maple, black locust, oak. There's pretty much no limit to what you can use. Making these bows is, each one's got to be made individually. The trick to making these is you want to leave the outside, which is the side away from you. You want to leave that in one growth ring, and that's what gives the bow its strength. Another trick to making these is when you get these limbs to bend, you want a nice, smooth, even arc. You don't want it to have a hinge in one spot where you're overstressing the wood, because then the bow will break. And for arrows, you can use all different types of wood as well. Split hickory makes a good arrow. I personally use river cane. You can use bamboo. Cedar makes a good arrow.
Well, you know, we had a lot of fun the last couple of days. We shot at some squirrels. We got on some hogs. We got pretty close to some hogs a couple times. I hope y'all enjoyed the hunt. I hope you learned a little bit. I know I did, as far as Billy making some stuff. Thank you for joining us.
We appreciate it. Thank you.